means to be an American is a difficult topic to ponder. Throughout history, many a man and woman, many an accomplishment, and many a dream have built upon this country and contributed to its ever-increasing knowledge, freedom, and independence. Back in the earlier stages of the United States, many of our rights and freedoms that are often taken for granted today were being worked for by many. Certain documents represent the recognition of these rights and freedoms and the hard work that so many pushed through to get them. The Declaration of Independence was written mostly by Thomas Jefferson in 1776 and signed by 56 delegates, declaring independence for the United States from Great Britain. This declaration is seen as the true birth of the United States, laying out its rules for equality, liberty, and independence. The Declaration emphasizes and enforces the principle of liberty to all in saying, quote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Unquote. It is also made clear that the government was created for the people of the United States, its purpose being to preserve and protect the rights given to all in the Declaration. Quote, "That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government." Unquote. From then on, citizens of the U.S. could turn back to the Declaration and know that their rights were recognized, protected, and preserved by this Declaration of Independence and Freedom, and that it was there in writing signed by 56 men, reminding all of their freedom and independence in the United States. The Declaration of Sentiments was made at the Seneca Falls Convention in 1848. And in act of support for women's rights, a group of women attended the convention and declared their rights using the Declaration of Independence as a template. The well-known line of the Declaration of Independence was changed to the following in the Declaration of Sentiments. Quote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal." Unquote. Also stated was, quote, "He has never permitted her to exercise her inalienable right to the elective franchise. He has compelled her to submit to laws in the formation of which she had no voice," unquote, and so on. By substituting words like women and her, where men and his once were, the women at the convention like Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott made a powerful statement, trying to make their voices heard, knowing their voices were just as important as those of the men. After all, the people means everyone, not just men, and the rights of the people are addressed many times in both declarations. The Seneca Falls Convention and Declaration of Sentiments led to more conventions, spreading the women's rights movements throughout the country. Lincoln's well-known Gettysburg Address was, simply stated, not what the U.S. expected. Around 2 to 3 minutes long, it was short and sweet, honoring the men who fought at Gettysburg for, quote, "that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion," unquote, that cause being liberty. They acted to preserve the Union and to follow through with Lincoln's view of the principle liberty to all. Though some viewed all as white men only, Lincoln and those he honored who fought and died at Gettysburg viewed all in its true meaning. To them, all meant all. And they showed that to their country, the men at Gettysburg by risking and some losing their lives for it, and Lincoln by honoring them and speaking out to the United States against slavery and for true liberty to all. Some looked down upon Lincoln's short, simply stated speech, having expected a longer, more elaborate declaration of freedom and liberty. However, that wasn't what they got, and though critics may not have known it at the time, it wasn't what the country needed to hear Lincoln's voice in the matter, to hear his fight for liberty to all and promise of changes to come. New Colossus is a poem written by Emma Lazarus about the Statue of Liberty, said to have given the statue a new, clearer meaning when it first came to be. With America's promise and opportunity, individuals, families, and crowds voyaging to America would be greeted by this statue, a symbol of welcome. The symbolism of different parts of the statue, such as the crown and the torch, may even conflict and counter one another in the minds of many. But when looked at as a whole, as one, the statue, all in all, symbolizes America in all its power, opportunity, and hope for even further success in the future. The torch in her hand shows that she is lighting the way, and the crown is a symbol of America's power and promise. The statue wasn't created for the people in New York City, or anyone already in America, for that matter. That would be defeating the purpose of the statue, countering its meaning, its message. It was created to stand there on American soil, representing the country in and of itself, showing immigrants that this was what they were heading towards. This was the wonderful place in this sometimes not-so-wonderful world that they were being welcomed into. It was there to bring all who wished to come into America, so more could contribute and share in its accomplishments, dreams, and the hard work needed to get there. America didn't become what it's become with the work of several individuals. This country became what it became with the hopes, dreams, and hard work of its people united. Achievements aren't achieved and accomplishments aren't accomplished with one single person. This country was built by the power of union amongst its inhabitants. A line of New Colossus reads, quote, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free," unquote. In saying this, the document showed immigrants that they would breathe free in America, and that they were welcome, and the more people, the more minds, the more dreams added to the U.S. added to the unity of those minds, those dreams, and gave the people of the U.S. more to build the country upon. In conclusion, though so much of what happened throughout history revolved around the mistakes and hardships of some, there were always the victories and accomplishments of others making this country great. Though we were trapped in the confines of Great Britain, we eventually broke free and declared our independence. Though the rights of women didn't extend to the length that they should have, they had the bravery to speak up and begin the changes that would eventually make them truly equal to men. Though many lost their lives fighting for the freedom of those enslaved, their president honored them in front of their country and continued to work for true liberty to all. Though citizens of other countries in the world lacked freedom and independence, we welcomed them into America, where they would be free. The hard work labored through, the sacrifices made, and the risks taken by so many made this country what it is today, and showed us all what it means to be an